Welcome back to Osa's Reviews, and tonight I'm going to review a film I just watched on Netflix, requested by my friend Matt, and I've heard about this film on Netflix, Stronger Than the World. It is a film made from a true story following a very popular UFC featherweight fighter, very good martial artist he is, and following his story of how he became a martial artist and following his true story in his family and all that. So this film is directed by Afonso Payet, and it stars Jose Loreto, who is Jose Aldo, Cleo Pierce, who plays Vivian, his girlfriend, Romulo sorry, I cannot pronounce that middle name. But he plays the coach to Jose, and Jackson and Kunis, who plays Jose's dad. Just pronounce those names. So, what is this film about? It follows the story of Jose Aldo and his time in Manaus, Brazil, his hometown, and he's him growing up out of this kind of like childish, like being hanging out with his friends, doing all this silly stuff, and then eventually leaving Manaus for Rio de Janeiro to become a proper fighter. And he had aspirations of becoming a fighter to better for himself. It shows you a very real and gritty story of how he had to deal with his dad, and his dad being having alcohol issues, and his dad being very abusive at times to his mother, and him having to deal with that, and him having to control his anger, which he felt, which everyone seemed to kind of like remind him. He was kind of reminded them of his dad, and that he didn't want to be his dad, but he kind of reminded them of his dad, and he kind of acted like him sometimes. And yeah, a heartwarming story of how he's trying to cope with his inner demons throughout the whole thing, and he has this other side of him that he battles through without this whole film that looks exactly like him, and it's like his rival, and he's like, I have to face him, and and you really get drawn into that is that his more sadistic part of him, that he doesn't want to have nothing to do with him, but his dad brings it out of him, and yeah, then again there's this other side where it shows you he really does care about his father, and he really does love his father for who he is, but he just wished that things were different, I guess, in his part, and like his dad wouldn't have been so abusive towards his mother. I'm not sure how abusive he would have been, but there was a lot of great storytelling there, along with him building character and learning the ropes to become an MMA fighter, and how he had to sacrifice a lot to become an MMA fighter, and how pretty much like this dude that would win a fight wouldn't really care about not much anything but getting something to eat. So he was always hungry, like you said, and he wanted to eat. And I don't know if that was an expression for whether he's hungry to win and to beat people up and win titles, or hungry like he wants to fight to eat. I really enjoyed it. I love UFC fighting, and I like MMA. I do jiu-jitsu in my own spare time, and it has taken my life over pretty much for a big part of my life, and I like to just watch how it affected Jose's life. But it is a very touching story of how he becomes this incredible fighter. He is this incredible fighter, and how when he goes back, some scenes affect you when he goes back to Manaus to have one fight, and that one fight costs him really bad, because it makes him have flashbacks. I don't know if that really happened in Jose Aldo's fight, but only he would know that. And it was an incredible story, just like how he follows his struggles, him trying to connect with his then girlfriend Vivian, and him just trying to become the best, and trying to deal with his father at the same time with his alcohol problems, and trying to keep that connection there. And it's a very touching story. I will say it's a very good story. The acting is very good. It is subtitled, so do be aware. This movie is subtitled in Portuguese, so you will have to probably watch in subtitles, so there's no English dub or anything like that. But if you have patience for subtitles, it's a very good watch. To It's a good show. It is a good movie to watch. But anyway, negatives. Nothing really negative about this film. Nothing I could have found, except for maybe some of the camera shots in some of the fight scenes. I can gather though it would be hard to film a fight scene, and a lot of cutting and different shots of angles have to be done. But it was done so often at times that it was really hard to kind of just focus on the two people fighting. I loved how there was different aspects of how he was fighting, and you just saw the slow mo of him getting punched or him punching someone else, and it just really was a great storytelling film. It was just one of those great fight films that just tells a good story at the same time, and it's based on a true story, and you do enjoy it. So I'm going to give Stronger than the World an 8 out of 10. It is a very good watch. It is a very good story told about Jose Aldo's path to becoming a MMA fighter, and I enjoyed it, guys. I can't say a bad word about it. It was a very touching story about him and how he grew up, and I'm glad now that he's worked so hard to become a very good fighter, and he can provide for his family. So that's all I have to say about it, guys. Thank you so much for enjoying this review. I hope you enjoy this one and my others. If you enjoy them, please hit a like on them. If you want to stay for more content, a subscribe is well appreciated as well. Stay tuned for next week's reviews. I will be releasing what I'll be reviewing in the following week. Thank you again, guys. See you soon. Bye.